Here we go, I've opened the hatch. You can see the galley is in what I call full counter mode. It's the way I usually keep it. Show you a little bit about that when I get down there. See that cedar overhead? Looks pretty nice, I think. I want to point out, you see that the table, the leg there is in the aftmost position. There are 3 positions to adjust how much room you have sitting on either side of the dinette. If just one of you is on board, this is really comfortable to have it either forward or aft to give you more room. That silver thing covers a battery charger. It's a 2-amp battery charger hooked into the shore power. Works pretty well. You can see one of the speakers for the CD-FM, AM-FM, and there's where that's mounted. A little auxiliary shelf. And of course the quarter berth back here, full of the cockpit cushions, some back cushions I use in the cockpit. This is the filler cushion that fits on top of the filler board itself that fills in the front part of the cockpit here, sort of from the teak forward. That's all enclosed, and there's with the cockpit cushions and then that filler cushion, this whole area is really, really comfy to just lounge around. Mentioned the galley. Here is the sink. This is not the stock Westerly Cirrus sink. That was a molded fiberglass unit, but the previous owner thought it was too small, so he ripped that out and put this in its place. Works well, pressure water. Show you the pump underneath here. This is the ice box, as mentioned. Got some sort of dirty, of course, but she is winterized. Of course, I did the whole plumbing system as well as the engine system, of course. And then this piece comes out of here, and that space is either suitable for a seat. If you saw the brochure I sent you, they put a cushion there and you can actually sit there, or that's where the stove fits as well, which is mounted on gimbals that are allows it to stay level, and that's where that goes. What I find actually in use is that that space under here is really handy just for normal day sailing or whatever. Throw, your bags in there. My wife throws her purse in there, that sort of stuff, just generally a place to get stuff out of the way. And then like I said, I do use this in counter mode most of the time, just for snacks and drinks and things to help it, just makes it nice to have counter space. Little storage area there, and that's matched on this side, or there's another one anyway on this side for whatever you need to have in there. You can see my original VHF FM and depth sounder, they both work. No problems at all. There's the other speaker for the stereo. All the 12 volt lighting works fine. There's a receptacle here for the shore power. There's also one back here. You can see this. I have a power strip plugged in here, and it runs underneath the table for auxiliary stuff. Works pretty easily. There's a little hanging locker. I also stow the garbage can in there and a broom, but there's a little rod. You could put shelving in there, make that more functional if you wanted to. And then into the forward cabin. Opening port light there, Durade vent. You can see those are, I forgot to tell you, that very nice. They're really very well done hatch screens for the, in lieu of the hatch boards. They're really pretty and do a great job. Also have a screen forward for the forward hatch, which is under there. And you can see my little fridge that is a real luxury, but you know, obviously for a marina situation with shore power, it's really slick to have your boat stocked and ready to go at any given moment. And I just obviously unplug it when I'm out sailing, and it'll hold the temperature, you know, fine for a normal afternoon sail. If I really worry about it, I'll throw ice in the ice box and throw your beer or your whatever you're drinking in there, in your food and stuff, so it works well. You can see the head door closed here. That is actually a map of Lake Winnebago that is just tacked onto that door, can be easily removed. But in this configuration, that encloses the head. If you did have people on board, or if you are using the head, there's a towel there, that closes it off. So if somebody needs to use the head, they go in there, open the door, get ready, and close this to give them some privacy. And of course that would work as well for overnighting. Get in here and I'll show you the head itself. There we go. This, as I said, is I think 3 years old. Previous owner got a brand new one. It is my first experience having a marine toilet, and I love it. My wife more than I, even. But it works reliably, no odor, no smell. I've had no issues at all with it. There's a matching opening port in there, and there's even a light in there as well. A light out here, just on that side. I do, however, I'm sorry, it is dark in there. See the V-berth, but I do have another shore receptacle, power receptacle, in here. Let's see if that gives us a little bit of light to see into the V-berth. I think this is the original vinyl on the hull sides here. He ripped out most of it and repainted, which I think is a much nicer finish, but this was in reasonable enough shape that he left it as it is. And again, this refrigerator could easily be removed and obviously have the cushion, and this could be restored to a full berth. But you see that it is actually offset. You know, this is the longer berth than this one anyway. But you know, if you wanted to restore this to a full V-berth, you could certainly do that. There is storage under both of these aft sections. The water tank is under the forward port part of the V-berth here. This is just a fan I've got plugged in for at the harbor. It's pretty nice. But there's just general storage. We got a toolbox and a bunch of junk I threw under there. That's one other sacrifice with the refrigerator, because obviously, you know, I have this screwed in place so it doesn't move, and there is another access hatch to this portion of the storage. So if you didn't have this in place, it'd be easy enough to access both of them. But like, I don't generally keep too much on the boat. Some folks like to really, load them up, all kinds of stuff. I don't, so didn't really need it. I'll pull the engine hatch. Here we are, Volvo MD1. That's 7 1/4, 7 1/2, something like that, horsepower. Single cylinder. Compression release here. And if you can see it back in there, the hand crank. You can actually put the hand crank on. You can run or you can start this baby by hand, and I've done it. It works. It's a fun thing. I don't know if you've run across the blog by that English sailor, Dylan Winter. It's called Keep Turning Left, but he had a boat with an old Volvo MD1 and that he called the Slug all the time, and he had a love-hate relationship with it, but the biggest that he loved the way it sounded, and ever since I ran across that and got this boat, I've just been totally enamored of the sound that this thing makes as it chugs along. It's some people have even downloaded a cell phone, what I'm talking about, in order to have it hear it all the time. Ringtone, there you go, that's what I'm thinking of. But she could be prettied up, painted, and so forth, but she runs like a charm. She absolutely is just in very good shape. 3 separate fuel filters, as I mentioned, and I've just had no issues with it. All storage underneath here. I guess I wasn't really going to go to the exercise of taking all that out of there, but there is storage underneath the quarter berth. This is where the batteries go, underneath here, and then there is a large storage area back behind this dinette back, which is, there's a big sail locker back there, as well as the extension for when you drop this down to be used as a berth, which obviously is a feature of this boat as well. It's a tiny double or a really spacious single, however you want to look at it. My wife and I though sleep here, and works fine. And after 30 some years of marriage, I guess that's not so shabby. So there you have it. I hope this has given you some idea of what she's all about. I think she's in pretty reasonable shape for being a 1970 boat. Everything works. She could be dolled up a lot. You could spend some time on the wood on the interior and so forth and really spruce it up, I have no doubt. But totally functional and usable as is. Lots of storage. Holding tank is under here. It's the raw water intake to flush the toilet is right in there. More storage. So, alright buddy, there you have it. I'll get this posted to YouTube and you can take a look and let me know what you think. Thanks guys, take care.